Well, boys, so gonna get some stuff done today. Got a new wheel liner in, so I'm gonna put that on this car. I had to go and buy it from Nissan. Get to that in a minute. But put the new oil gauge in, and it's still reading below zero. From what some of the guys on the forums are saying is, well, I guess these gauges aren't exactly accurate to begin with. I don't mean everybody's saying this, but a few of them are saying it, that it's really just more of an aesthetic thing. So hopefully I can return this new one and get my money back on it. Not really too worried about it. They should take it back. But it's just weird. The other one that I had in here actually read like right on or a needle's width from zero. This one reads below zero. No oil light on. And if it was really reading, you know, zero oil pressure, it wouldn't sound like it does. I've heard cars before that had low oil pressure. This doesn't sound like one of them. So, I have no idea what's up with that. I mean, the only thing that would make sense to me is the fact that these gauges just aren't all that high quality, which really wouldn't surprise me. I came to find out that Renault owns Nissan, or they have some sort of partnership with them. So it really doesn't surprise me that, you know, the build quality and everything's kind of gone down a bit in Nissans. I mean, it really kind of makes sense, but anyways, go ahead and show you guys what I got. Here's the new wheel liner. It's the proper one. Go ahead and take this out. I guess I got to take all this stuff out, actually. Some oil for the Malibu. The Ranger's due one here pretty soon too, but I need to do the timing chain cover gasket on it. I also bought a dash cam. I did have another dash cam before, but I returned that a while ago. This one was 40 bucks, so I have no idea how it's going to turn out to be. There's a filter for the Malibu. That's also for the Malibu. I'm running one of these through it right now on this tank, then I'm going to run another one on the next tank. Got some fast orange stuff and some oil rocks. So let's go ahead and get the stuff put away and get started on the Nissan. Now while I'm getting everything ready, I've got to move the Ranger so my dad can get his tractor out of there. Grass is starting to do a little bit of growing. So I'll go ahead and turn the Ranger on, let it warm up a little bit. This thing is leaking oil. Not very much, but you know, just enough. I don't know if that's coming out of the rear main or not. It's not too big of a deal, but go ahead and turn the truck on. I don't know what it is with these wipers, but I bought these Goodyear wipers from Costco for all three cars, actually, the Nissan, the Chevy, and the Ranger, and they are just shit wipers. They are just not all that good. Just the quality on these, they go out this way fine, they get all the water, but then they leave not streaks but like patches of, you know, water here and there. So I don't know what that's all about. In fact, you can kind of see a little bit of it right here. But those are brand new wipers, and all three pairs that I bought are doing that. So I'm not going to be buying Goodyear wipers anymore. It really surprised me. I thought they were a good brand, but whatever. So now I'm going to go ahead and get everything ready over there. There we go. It's all connected. I didn't have all the fittings, all the attachment fittings. There was another one that goes right up here that I didn't have. And I think there was one more in here. Yeah, the one that's right up here. If you can see that. It just takes those little pull tab ones, so I don't really need to replace those, put them in. So I probably won't, but if I come by them cheap enough somehow, I probably will. And then I got the two bottom parts in here connected. They were supposed to have those little backing nut plates that go in like that, and on the top is a threaded portion, so you don't have to do this. That's the whole point of those things. But I didn't have those, and I haven't got them yet. And again, I don't really need them. I just used, you know, bolts and nuts to get the bottom parts in, and holds it in fine. Now, decoder, I told you that I had done that restoration job on my headlights, and this is how they turned out. They definitely look a lot better than they did. If you can see, didn't do it perfectly, but it's really not that big of a deal to me. There's just some, you know, polishing marks from the pads that I was using. Didn't come out perfectly, but it looks a lot better than it did, that's for sure. So now all I got to do is throw the wheel back on, go and get the Malibu and start on it, because I don't think I have anything left to do on this today, at least. Oh, and just a tip. This is something that I do at work whenever I'm trying to line something up that's kind of in a tricky spot. These weren't too bad, but I did use this method. When you go and put something in and there's, you know, 3 to 4 layers of different things it goes into, it's best to just line it up, you know, like that, and then kind of finagle it with a pick or a skinny screwdriver. Stick it in. What I did was I stuck it in through the bottom, lined that up, stuck the screwdriver through the thread, so, you know, it was in all the way to the head like that, and I was able to get the top one lined up with by doing that, lining it up, putting the screw in, tightening it down, and held onto the bottom here, kept it in place so it wouldn't move around, and got that screw in as well. That's just a little tip for you guys. Sometimes you'll need to do something like that, and having picks or tiny, long, skinny screwdriver, that really helps in situations like that. So I'm about to do an oil change here on the Malibu. Got the rest of the oil draining out, not much left in the pan. I haven't pulled the filter off yet. These are the kind of filters I use just because they're convenient at Walmart. AC Delco makes, you know, halfway decent filters. They're definitely better than Fram. Walmart doesn't carry wicks, unfortunately, but so I'll go with an AC Delco. This is the type of oil that I use usually. I didn't use this stuff for the last oil change for whatever reason, but I've used this stuff, like, out of all the oil that I buy, this is typically what I go with. And I've been buying this oil back since I had my old Ranger, my 92. And then I'm going to try this stuff because my lifters are ticking or it's piston slap, and some people online were saying this stuff will quiet it down if not all the way. So we'll see what happens with this. Still got to pull that oil filter off, and we'll be getting to add this stuff. Well, the Malibu's done, at least for now. Oil change is complete. Got an offer, well, not really an offer, but there's a dealership in town that saw my ad on Craigslist, and they want to see the Nissan, so I might be selling it today. They said my price that I'm asking for it seems fair, so we'll see what happens. Also, it's tomorrow. Before I get too ahead of myself, I'm using the beater mower. Kind of clean up some of the grass here. Does a pretty decent job, actually. I'm really going to do a video of me doing this. I don't really have a way to mount my camera to the mower. Works pretty good though. So I did over here as well. Not done yet. My dad's gonna hit around there with the weed eater along the side of the building with the weed eater. Can't get over here because there's a ground right here. I got to get along the side right here, a little bit over there as well. It's a good little mower. Stalled out a couple times. I wish it had that side discharge port on it. If I was feeling ballsy, I would just grind a hole in the side here and see if I can rig something up and just close the back. Maybe I will do that as a project in the future. The Ranger here, I was just talking to my dad about what we're going to do with this thing, and I think what eventually we want to do sometime around April or May is get rid of all of the parts of the truck that we don't need, you know, like the cab, the frame, Probably the motor too, because I'm pretty sure the motor's shot. I pulled the dipstick on it right when we got this thing, and there was no oil in it, so I have no idea why that happened. And I haven't really looked at the motor in depth, but obviously the hood, the fenders, all the front up here, part of the radiator, we're just going to dump all that stuff and take it all apart. But the box we're going to keep, because I might need it in the future if somebody ever hits me or something happens to mine, or my brother, something ever happens to his. We have all the tail lights and all the associated stuff. Somebody took the ball off the rear bumper. That's interesting. But yeah, it's I would love to start a Ranger collection, but this truck is, I mean, another truck in this shape isn't exactly cheap. Like $500-600 probably, if you could even find one. But most people part these out because they're well worth the money. You make a lot more money parting one of these out than you do selling it as a whole truck. So that's usually what ends up happening. And there's my Flowmaster 10 muffler. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that. I thought about pulling it off and putting it on a my truck, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. I even played with the idea of putting it on the Malibu, but there's really not much of a point, seeing as I'm going to sell that thing eventually anyways. So yeah, I'm going to get back to doing some mowing and update you guys how it looks afterwards. In about 400 or 500 miles, I think the Ranger is due for an oil change. But before I change the oil, meaning after I drain it out, what I'm going to end up doing is the water pump and the timing chain cover gasket. Got all the parts to do it. I think I just need to go to O'Reilly's and get that fan clutch wrench again. But yeah, that's going to be the next project that gets done with the Ranger. Don't know when that's going to happen yet, because according to work and school, it's kind of difficult to plan things around. Plus the fact that I'm busy all the time. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't really matter much because I don't daily drive this truck anymore like I was, but these roof racks kill your gas mileage. Around town, I got, I think, like 13.8 miles to the gallon last tank, and before I put this thing on, I was doing like 15 or 16 to the gallon around town. About 20, 21 on the highway. So yeah. I just got to move the truck back. Just kind of letting it warm up just a little bit. This thing doesn't get driven as much as I would like to drive it, but it does get used for what its intended purpose is. So that's good. Still got to fix that fan. Maybe I'll do that today. It just needs a good cleaning. Another project I have to get to with this truck is the window regulators. The right side, it's messed up, so that one needs to be replaced, and I'll probably replace this one too, because it's showing signs that it's starting to act up. That's going to be the next things I'm going to end up doing with this truck. Now I'm just going to move the Malibu back over here and compress air my feet off, because they got grass clippers.